Next up, we're going to talk about is pedigree analysis. Now, why do we do pedigree analysis? We do pedigree analysis to study the family history about inheritance of a particular trait. Now, before we study pedigree analysis, we need to understand certain symbols, such as the square symbolizes for male, the circle symbolizes for female, the kite symbol symbolizes for sex unspecified, the shaded structure symbolizes for affected individuals. The line between the square and the circle symbolizes for mating. The double line between the square and the circle symbolizes mating between relatives, and the square and the circle, and below it the circle and the square symbolizes, which is the parents above and the children below. And over here the circle is the first child and the square is the second child, which is the female is first and the male is second. Now the square in the circle with an affected children with a shaded square symbolizes an affected male child, and a kite with 5 symbolizes 5 unaffected offspring. A simple way to read pedigree analysis for diseases such as autosomal dominant disease, autosomal recessive, sex-linked dominant and sex-linked recessive diseases is that autosomal dominant diseases pedigree never skips generation, and children of affected parents might not have affected children. Then for autosomal recessive disease, over here the pedigree can skip generation and children of unaffected parents might have affected children. Then for sex-linked dominant pedigree, all daughters of affected parents will be affected, and the pedigree never passes, the disease never passes from father to son. Then for sex-linked recessive pedigree, males are more affected than females, and affected father's daughter will be a carrier and cause the grandson to be affected. The example of sex-linked recessive disease is hemophilia and color blindness. As over here in the first pedigree, we can see that the mother is affected, and from her progeny, one of his son and one daughter is affected. But here we can see that affected parents' children are not affected. Therefore, this is a autosomal dominant disease. In the second pedigree, we can see that both parents are unaffected, but their children are affected. So this is an example of autosomal recessive disease. Next up, we're going to talk about is genetic disorders. Now, genetic disorders are divided into two: Mendelian disorders and chromosomal disorders. Mendelian disorders are color blindness, hemophilia, sickle cell anemia, phenylketonuria, and thalassemia, whereas chromosomal disorders are Down syndrome, Klinefelter syndrome, and Turner syndrome. First, we're going to talk about is color blindness. Now, color blindness is a sex-linked recessive disorder where defect is in either red or green cones of eye, which results in failure to discriminate between them. Now, this occurs due to mutation in the X chromosome. Also, color blindness occurs in only 0.4% of females and 8% males. Now, this is because it is a recessive disorder, and since females have two X chromosomes, the other X chromosome can prepare the protein for color, and since male have only one X chromosome, the other Y chromosome cannot prepare any kind of protein. Next, we will talk about is hemophilia. Now, hemophilia is again a sex-linked recessive disorder, and a single protein which is a part of cascade protein involved in the clotting of blood is affected, which results in a non-stop bleeding from wounds. Therefore, over here in hemophilia, There is no clotting and therefore there is a non-stop bleeding from wounds. Females are rarely affected but can be a carrier for their sons. Again over here, hemophilia is a recessive disorder, and since female have two X chromosome, they can only be a carrier but they are rarely affected. They are affected but both of the parents are the carrier, and then only females can be affected with recessive disorders. Over here, men's are mostly affected. Queen Victoria was a carrier, so her family pedigree shows a number of hemophilic descendants. Next up, we're going to talk about is sickle cell anemia. Sickle cell anemia occurs in the 11th chromosome. It is an autosomal recessive disorder and it can be transmitted if both parents are carriers. Because it is a recessive disorder, we require both parents to be carrier if the progeny is affected. It is controlled by a single pair of allele, which is HBA and HBS. If HBS and HBS are the genotype, then it is affected, and if HBS and HBA are the genotype, then it is a carrier. Because it is recessive disease, we require both to be affected. It is caused by the substitution of glutamic acid by valine at the 6th position of the beta globin chain of hemoglobin molecule. Single base substitution at the 6th codon of the beta globin gene from GAG to GUG. The mutant hemoglobin undergoes polymerization under the low oxygen tension, causing the change in its shape of RBC from biconcave disc to elongated sickle-like structure. That is, the RBC structure changes from a biconcave to a sickle-shaped. Next, we will talk about is thalassemia. Thalassemia is an autosomal recessive disorder, and it is transferred when both parents are carriers. Since it is recessive, it requires both parents to be carrier. Due to mutation or deletion, it occurs due to mutation or deletion, results in reduced synthesis of one of the globin chain alpha or beta that make up hemoglobin. This forms abnormal hemoglobin. This is the important point to be remembered, that is thalassemia is quantitative problem, whereas sickle cell anemia is qualitative problem. Now we talk about is alpha thalassemia and beta thalassemia. Alpha thalassemia occurs in alpha chain when alpha chain is affected, and beta thalassemia occurs when beta chain is affected. Alpha thalassemia is controlled by two closely linked genes, which is HBA1 and HBA2, and in beta thalassemia it is controlled by only one gene, which is HBB. The alpha thalassemia is a mutation which occurs on the 6th chromosome, and beta thalassemia it occurs on 11th chromosome. Mutation or deletion of one or more of the 4 genes occurs, and it is a mutation or deletion of one or both genes. Next up, we're going to come to chromosomal disorders. Before we understand chromosomal disorders, we need to understand what is aneuploidy and polyploidy. Aneuploidy is gain or loss of chromosome due to failure or segregation of chromatids during cell division, and polyploidy is gain of a whole set of chromosome due to failure in telophase, which is often seen in plants. The polyploidy, for example, 2n plus n is an example of polyploidy. Aneuploidy's example is nullisomy, monosomy, trisomy, and tetrasomy. In nullisomy, 2n minus n, which is a pair of chromosome, is lost. In monosomy, 2n minus 1, which is only one chromosome, is lost. In trisomy, 2n plus 1, which is one chromosome, is added. And in tetrasomy, which is 2n plus 2, a pair of chromosome is added. Next up, we're going to understand is chromosomal disorders. First disorder is Down syndrome, which is also called as Mongolism. Over here, presence of additional copy of chromosome number 21, which is trisomy of 21, occurs. The features are round face and head, furrowed tongue, partially open mouth, broad palm with creases. Physical and psychomotor and mental development is retarded. Here, an additional chromosome of 21 is added. In Klinefelter syndrome, which occurs in male, additional copy of X chromosome, which is trisomy of X chromosome occurs, where 44 plus XXY, which is 47 chromosome, is present. The features are overall masculine development, feminine development, development of breast, that is gynecomastia, and the men's are sterile. Third one comes Turner syndrome, which occurs in females, which is absent of one of the X chromosome, which is monosomy. Here we can see 44 plus X, which is 45 chromosome total, and the features are rudimentary ovaries, lack of secondary sexual characters, and the females are sterile.